We have a lot to go over today, and we have a very busy start to the month. So let's get the show on the road. One sec, I need to find this. Share screen, cool, screen one. So I didn't prepare a PowerPoint. We don't need a PowerPoint today. I want to talk about three specific things today. So I'll kick off with a bit of talking about myself. I'm going to go over some things so you guys can start developing the confidence and the belief inside yourselves. And I'll try and share, well, not try, I will share exactly what I was thinking about when I just first started out. What is really important is that I didn't give myself an option to fail. I went all into this. Now, I'm not telling you guys to follow suit because what I did was very risky. My story goes like this. I was working in the financial markets. I was working in high management jobs. I started off from the bottom, of course, but I was making very good money. On a monthly basis, I was making over five figures, so 10K plus. I was literally pulling in that kind of money. And I don't think many people at the age of 21, 22, 23, 24 would want to quit that. I was a legend at my firm. People looked up to me. I managed a team. I did what I loved. But I realized that no matter how good I am replaceable. So eventually somebody else with a bigger drive and things like this might come over and take what I've been building. And you never stay forever in one company, right? Nobody does. Nobody stays in, unless you open up your own job and stuff like that. But I'm saying, like, work-wise, especially in sales and business development and stuff like that, you're not going to stay with one firm for forever. I lost the passion at some point to do that. I wanted to change the industry. My goals were different. I wanted to start my own brokerage, things like this. And I had ideas because the main defining factor of why I wanted to start, coaching people and stuff like that, I told you about this before, is the fact that I worked with IBs, which are introducing brokers, those Instagram guys and Facebook guys who are going around and telling people that they're successful while they were, pretty much losing people money and teaching them bullshit. So that was my big motivation to start an education firm. But I'll tell you where it all begins. So I always wanted to become rich, successful, because at the end of the day, money in our civilization, in our society, in any civilized society, money is vital. And I've said this many times because, what is money at the end of the day? Many people don't even understand how much money they want to make. But money is what? It's birthday presents, Christmas presents, warm home, food, clothes, electricity, water, clothes, books, dinner. It's everything. Like, literally, the only way you could live without money is if you live in an uncivilized society, meaning in a forest or something like this. So if you want to come to the civilized society, you will need money unless you find gold somewhere there. But, so money is vital. And I always wanted to make lots of it, and I was making very good money, but I wanted to change that. So what I did was I conceived an idea in my mind and I believed it. I actually believed it so much that I remember my wife was pregnant. I don't have parents or someone like this, to help me out. I had nobody, to lean back on. So I literally, when you say burn your bridge, I actually did that. I quit a very high paying job and I started working on my own. I started trading on my own, actually. The main point was that I conceived the idea in my mind and I believed that I could achieve it no matter what. So for me, it was whatever it takes, day in, day out. The good thing is I developed habits early on in my business career because, I succeeded a lot in FX. And the reason I succeeded was because I literally had a relentless work ethic. And I'm not joking. Like, if you guys ask anyone who worked with me or worked for me, you'll know that I was the first one in, last one out. First one in, last one out. I worked really hard. But I studied hard too. So I looked for ways to becoming better and things like this. And those habits remain in my life till this day. I still do the same thing with myself for trading and so forth. But and I'll tell you. So how did I when I kicked things off, I wasn't successful from the get-go. I really wasn't. I was losing money. Things were not going well. And I'll never forget 10th of February, 2015. Yeah, 2015. One day or 2 days, I think it was. 9th, yeah, 9th of February. 2 days before my son was born, I was broke, like literally broke. I was like, fuck, what am I gonna do? And that day I made over 10 grand by focusing on me. When you have a deadline, like it was like, this just has to happen. There is no question about it. There is no ifs. This will happen. So that will happen was always there for me, but it made me be blinded. So the will happen made me rush, made me try to make the money quick, try to make it big, try to make it quick. That was the idea. And then I realized, I unfortunately, literally 2 days before my son was born, I needed about 4.2 grand just to pay for his birth. And I'll never forget that. I sat down, woke up in the morning. I had some peanuts on the account, and I was like, okay, today, thankfully, the market was pretty busy and volatile. And I said to myself, listen, you're going to do this no matter what, you're withdrawing 10 grand today. Like, there's no question about it. This is going to happen. And here's what you're going to do. Like, what I did was I couldn't sleep the night before. I was sitting and thinking, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? And then I thought and thought and thought, and I'm like, okay, early entry, no definite entry, overexposure on wrong trades, trying to ride the move after it was happening, every mistake in the book. And I sat there and thought about it, and I was like, okay. So, and I remember like telling my wife, like, write this down. And she was like, what? I'm like, just write it down. And the thing that I wanted to be written down was turn turn weaknesses into strengths. And then I woke up in the morning, sat down, and I'm like, okay, weakness number one, no definite entry. Randomly entering, this is happening, something's going on, looks interesting, get in. No. So I sat down and I created the definite entry. It was the fibs, by the way. And I sat down and I wrote down, I'm just going to enter like this, just like this. It was just the fibs. Fibs connected with the contraction. And so those two things is what I focused on throughout the day. But I was extremely active. But that took about 4 hours, just so you guys know. I had a couple of hundred on the account, which was nowhere near to pay for anything. My rent, my bills, my food, my child's birth, and all the things that come with the child's birth, like Pampers and then all shampoos and blah, 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 clothes. And I was like, okay, this is going to happen. And literally, I'm not joking, 2 days, it was 2 days. I'll even check like this because I know that he was born on the 11th of February, 2015. I'll see if it was 2 days. 11th, yeah, it was a Monday, 15. So on the 9th of February, because I did the withdrawal in the same day and it came on the next day. That day, I made, well over 10K, but I withdrew 10K from the account. And then my life changed. So I'll explain to you what I did. What I did was I used, it's something I posted on Facebook, concentrated attention, combined it with my relentless work ethic. And the third thing I didn't write down was I had a definite goal. I said, this is going to happen. I am going to make it. Sometimes, unfortunately, in life, when you prolong something for a little bit too much, then you come to a stage of you just run out of time and you just have to do it. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things that we all need to be reminded. This is something I think about a lot. Call me crazy, but I know that everyone I love, and including myself, we're the only definite thing that I know is that everyone's going to die. Like, there is no question about it, unless some crazy thing occurs in the world where, you get the infinity of life, which will not be shared or anything like this, right? Well, then the odds are stacked in the favor of everyone's gonna die. And the beautiful thing about that is that you can actually now motivate yourself and say to yourself, that can happen tomorrow. In a book that I read a while ago, actually that was many years ago, when I was still like 22, 21, I read a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. And one of the best things, well, there's a lot of lessons in that. It's generally for like speaking, like business speaking. Highly recommend you all read it because you do need to have communication. I know trading is not a communication game, but you will need it in your life and it will help. Because if you can communicate properly, you can remove a lot of stress from your life. Anyway, in that book, it says that you need to treat everyone you come in contact with as if they're going to die at midnight. Like you'll never see them again. And then you'll see that you're going to start treating people better. So my gift as a person is that I get to get things like this and modify it. Like my mind works that way. Because I used to, I used to use a lot of imagination when I was a kid. So my mind works that way. It was programmed to imagine alternatives to that. And when I heard that, I said, okay, great. Well, let me use that for my goals. And that's what I did. So let me go over the 3 steps. 1, concentrated attention. So what does concentrated attention mean? In normal people language, that will be called patience and discipline. Concentrated attention. I knew what I need to look for, and I looked for it. And when I saw it or saw it happening, I would then look to enter. There was no early entries. I think that was my best trading day ever. But that all led to a crazy 3 to 4 months, just so you guys know, and I'll talk about those 3 to 4 months in a little bit. So number 1 was concentrated attention. I was fucking focused. I knew what I want. I know how to get it. And all I had to do is wait for the market to give it to me. Number 2, relentless work ethic. When I say relentless work ethic, I mean I'm on a fucking mission. And no friend, no nothing can, number 1, distract me. You call me to go have a beer, call me for a coffee, absolutely not. Phone's ringing, it's a friend, don't give a shit. I really don't give a shit. Like now, it's time to focus on the most important thing. So that's 1. Like I had no distractions. I did have distractions. I just didn't let them to distract me. The pressure of fuck, this might not happen. Like I might not make the money. What do I tell my wife who's pregnant about to deliver birth? Give birth to our child. How am I going to tell her I don't have money to pay for the birth? Think about that. Like imagine that pressure. And I was like, fuck, but I'm not going to let you distract me. I'm on a mission and I'm going to get the 3rd point, which is a definite goal. Like, what does a definite mean? Definite means you jump off a 20-story building, you're going to die. Definite. Fall straight head on. You're going to die. That's called definite. And to me, that was definite. Like, this is going to fucking happen. But it's a very different thing compared to the basics of motivation. People share all this bullshit on social media. They find a picture somewhere, copy paste it, and they're like, yeah, I'm motivated. It doesn't work like that. And I'll tell you why. I'm going to drift a little bit around. But I just want to get your minds centered on what I'm talking about is not about me, by the way. This is all about you. This is to get you guys organized in your mind right now so you can have a fucking really good week and also understand what the things you need to do. Now, look, I manage the sales and trading floor in FX. I had a lot of people working for me. And the one thing I realized in the sales department, the guys who are the account managers who are calling people, they work on commissions. Salary plus commission. And they would come in beginning of the month every single fucking time. High motivation. I'm going to fucking smash it this month. Sorry for swearing, but that's the way I talk. I'm going to smash it this month. I'm going to do this month. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that, blah, 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 blah. And at the end of the day, it was just all blah, blah. It was literally nothing. It was complete bullshit. So I developed a basic, and why do I say bullshit? Because they would start with high motivation. Okay. This is motivation, by the way. I'll change the color of it to orange. Pay attention to my, fuck, 1 second. Yeah, so let's change this. Now let's do this. So the orange is gonna be motivation. Fucking hell. Okay. Look, this is the starting of the month. Okay, this is 1 month. This is day 1, and this is the 30th day of the month, 31st or 29th, whatever. Okay, and this is how their motivation went. High, and then like this. Okay, so motivation would kick off high. The work ethic would kick off like this. So this is motivation, and this is work ethic. it would kick off like this, okay? So they would start light because they're crazy motivated, and they're sure as hell they're gonna get their targets right, and they're gonna make a lot of money this month and hit all of the bonuses and get their Maseratis and blah, 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 because that's what we were getting as sales targets. This is what you're gonna get, and they're motivated. You know, they're up here in motivation, but work ethic's down here. It's all talk at this point. While when you come to the closing of the month, their work ethic has to massively increase and their motivation is highly decreasing. So they're basically working for no fucking reason. Okay, and this happens to a lot of traders as well. Come Monday, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna make money, today's gonna be profitable, blah, blah, blah. And what's happening is they're connecting traders, salespeople, carpenters, everyone, connecting their goal to external factors, things that they're not responsible for. Motivation is vital, but it is not the only fucking thing. And it's sure as hell not going to help you get your goals. Okay? So let me talk to you. Let me go about those three things. So concentrated attention, crazy work ethic. And let me just talk about work ethic for a bit, and we're going to come back to this, and I'll show you what you need to do to not do this. Work ethic. I actually spent time on the charts. So what do I mean by this? I was active in markets. I knew what I need to look for. When I opened my chart, I wasn't just looking, oh, here, I'm going to make money. No, I actually look at everything. When you look, you start from the left and go to the right. You know where price is, and you start from the left and you go to the right. You'll understand where price has supported, resisted, so forth, and you'll see the momentum. You'll also understand how plays work, because this bullish trend here didn't begin here, it actually began here. So this price action movement here is completely different from whatever the fuck happened here. What's happening here is two different things. Different people are in control of this, and different people were in control of this. Two different things. So I worked my ass off, and I'm not saying that I spent 20 minutes per chart. 30, 40 seconds, 2 minutes, doesn't matter how much time, but it was not a lot. When I was working hard, I was concentrated. I was focused. My attention was not centered on the music I'm listening to, or thinking what I'm going to buy with the profits, or what am I going to do later, or how bad my conversation with my friend, wife, husband, whatever went 20 minutes ago. There was only one job and one task at that time. And my attention had to be 100% centered at the task I'm doing at hand if I were to make my goal. Long story short, whatever I did that day compounded into one of the craziest periods of my life. And by the way, in that one day, I took that account from, I think, 400 or 500, somewhere there. Yeah, maybe even less, 300 something, into about 18K. I took out 10, and I had about 8 something. That 8 in about 3 to 4 months turned into over 400,000 euros. No joke, because that's all I did. My life got out of hand a little bit then. I was partying a little bit too much, going out a little bit more, not working as much. So the hard work and ethic and attention left, because I made a lot of money very quickly. I was used to making good money, but now it was just ridiculous. I literally made, I think it was like 470, 460, 50, somewhere there. I don't even remember. I just remember it was insane that I gave my brother 30,000 euros like this. 37,000, 38,000, just like this. Boom. I would meet my mom for a coffee. I'd give her 4 grand. Boom. I would go on a holiday, and in 3 days I'd spend 7,000 euros on coffees and clothes, even more. So my life went boom, completely changed. But the main point I'm telling you is, how did this happen? There were mistakes after that, of course, but what I'm telling you is the way all of this was achieved was concentrated attention. Like when I say concentrated, like I told you just now, it's not 99.9%. It's literally 100%. Like that's it. You sit down on the charts. You don't think, oh, I need to go to the toilet. Oh my God, or this or that, or I'm thirsty. You do all of that before you go to the chart. You go to the number 1, you go do your number 2, you have your coffee, you have your water, you do whatever the hell you need to do. And while you're doing whatever the hell you're doing, you're not checking your phone to check the charts, because that's a 50-50 thing. And that's poor and average causes, by the way. You remember I told you about cause and effect? That's poorer average. And if you do that, you're going to get poor average results. When you come to the markets, you're literally competing against the smartest people in this world. Faster computers than you can blink. More money than you can imagine is trading against you. The markets, this is a zero-sum game, guys. You need to understand that. Zero-sum means for you to make money, somebody needs to lose money. That's why it is vital when you sit down, you're 100% here. If that is for 7 minutes, let those 7 minutes be you being all in, concentrated attention, fully, relentless work ethic. And I don't mean you're working fast, you're just relentless in your work. You know what you need to do when you're doing that, exactly that, to the fucking dot. And number 3, you got a definite goal. I'm not telling you to sit down tomorrow and say, I want to make 10 grand. I'm not even telling you in any way that. I'm telling you my story of how that happened to me. There was no luck there. I'm a firm believer of luck, but the main thing I believe in luck is that you make your own luck. There is no such a thing as luck. There is, but you fucking make it on your own. Okay? That's how it works. Very simple. So I use that process, and in a matter of 3 to 4 months, I made more money than I did in my whole lifetime, probably until then, very quickly. I could have made more, but I have a lot of friends who are, very interested in using my money, and I was spending it on everyone and everything. I bought more cars than I could ever think I would. I spent money on jewelry and bullshit, that I would never, that now I realize is cool, but not mandatory. But it's something I needed to go through. I was a 25-year-old kid, 24-year-old, it was nuts. But yeah, I hope you guys get the drift. Now, I told you before everything I just told you about concentrated attention, relentless work ethic, and a definite goal. I told you guys about conceiving and believing something, believing that you can achieve it. Remember, I told you, to me, it was, this is going to happen. Just like you need to tell yourself right now that you are going to make it as a trader, and there's nothing in this world that's going to stop you. There is no question about you becoming a real trader with real skills, with with consistent profits. That's gonna happen. And it will happen. Because guess what? Because you're gonna do something about it. It's not up to me to make you a trader. It's up to you. I'm here to just guide. I'm here to share. I'm here to tell you what I've been through. And when I see you going through all of this bullshit and hard times, I'm here to tell you that don't worry. It's all going to work out fine. But I need you to develop and evolve daily. Because whatever you learned yesterday is already outdated. Whatever motivation you had yesterday is gone today. You need new motivations. I'm not saying change your goals. I'm just saying get pumped up. And when I say motivated, we're going to talk about the above stuff now, the picture. I'm going to explain to you how this all works. When I say motivated, I mean the motivation pushes you to be focused, which was that concentrated attitude stuff, to work hard. And I don't mean work lots. I just mean when you're working, you're relentless at your job. You're Rocky Balboa. You're Arnold fucking Schwarzenegger, or whoever you want to be, Superman, Batman. That's who you are, the best at what you do. And you might not feel like it, but you got to act as if. And that doesn't mean that you need to overexpose your account. You follow your whole system. You follow your position sizing. When things line up great, you open up a bit of a wider trade. But you manage your risks. You are a real trader. So let me tell you something. Look at this. So what people did was they had high motivation, which drastically decreased towards the middle of the month, and their work ethic only picked up after the middle of the month. Okay, that's what people did. My solution to this very basic problem is to replace those. I love replacing those things. So let's say this is the middle of the month. Okay, your work ethic starts hard and then goes down. This is exactly what I did to make one of the to have the highest conversion rates on an FX sales floor ever. This is what I did. I told them, the month starts, work your ass off now for 15 days. Give it all you got. Sweat it out. Kill yourself for 15 days. Okay? The first 15 days of the month. Work like you never worked before. Impress yourself. Kill yourself. Work harder. Come in first, go out last. Be the most hard-working person you can see on the floor. People, the ones that listened, they did very well, because I told them, once this is done, when this 15 days are over, you got 15 days of just managing this. That's all you need to do. Manage this. Because there is something in this world that's called cause and effect. And it follows. Produce enough causes here. Let's just leave a C. Produce enough causes here, and you're going to get the effects here. Okay? And how does this work in trading? Here, focused, okay? Focused, hardworking, relentlessly, definite goal. You know exactly what you want. 100% belief in yourself, in your goals, in your destiny with success. And absolutely always following the system. All the time. And when I say system, I'm not just saying entry process. I'm talking about position sizing. I'm talking about the analysis process. I'm talking about being 100% at your job when you need to be at your job. I don't want to hear or see anyone, when you find yourself, you're having a coffee on the balcony or you're watching TV, don't open your fucking chart. Okay? Do not do that. You want to trade? Go to your station, take your computer, your laptop, whatever, sit down. You got 5 minutes. Be the best you could ever be in 5 minutes. Here's another thing that I did, because of psychology. It's all about psychology. What I did was, in Cyprus, we had these floors like this. Okay, and the floors had tiles on them. I'll draw this like this. So there were tiles, okay? Okay, and this was a desk here. Somebody would be sitting here, and there was a tile down. And I'd tell them, this tile inside here, okay? Don't sit there. Move your chair over here. Don't touch this tile. This tile is you. Everything else here around, all of this shit here is you, okay? The average person, that's just normal, nothing special. You know, you are I don't know. I would think of a football player's name who's nothing special, but I can't think of anyone. So let's say this is the average football player, makes peanuts, never wins trophies, never the best player of the league. And down here is Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Wayne Rooney, and so forth. The best in the business. Somebody who has competitive greatness. Do you guys know what competitive greatness means? I'll answer it for you. Being at your best when your best is required. That's called competitive greatness. Being at your best when your best is required. So I would encourage people to sit here, do their normal shit, be their normal self, the average person who gets average results, because he or she produces the average causes daily. Now, when they're really ready to be the best version of themselves, the person who is focused or concentrated, has concentrated attention, has a relentless work ethic, and has a definite goal that is a no matter what it takes, I'm going to get this, you step into that box. But when you go in that box, in that basic tile, you are a completely different person. And that's exactly what I used to do with myself. Even till this day, I have a little rug under my desk. When I sit on my station, I want to be the best me ever. And it's actually very simple to be the best me ever. I just told you how. Concentrated attention, 100%. If I'm Scanning the charts, I'm 100% in the charts. I know what I'm looking for, and I need to find that. And when I find it, I work on it relentlessly. And I'm a goal-oriented person. When I'm out of that box, I can be whoever the fuck I want to be. I can be a lazy couch potato. But when I come in that box, I am the best Dennis in this fucking world. Nobody can compete with me. And that's called competitive greatness. When I come here, I am at my best, my very, very, very best. I could never be better than I am when I'm in there. So I'm just showing you things that actually work psychologically. You need to get motivated, but not a stupid kind of motivation. Okay? What I'm talking about is exactly what I just explained to you guys. It's a no matter what it takes. That's that kind of motivation. A focused, organized person that's gonna change his, her life for the better, no matter what. Okay, so I hope this helps you, and I'll just explain to you one more time. Concentrated attention, relentless work ethic, and a definite goal. That's what I had. What was it backed up by? Complete belief. I conceived the idea in my head. Guys, I was laying in bed, literally laying in bed, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. I was ready to break down into depression and things like this. I was like, fuck. I was questioning at some points the fact that, oh my God, I left that fucking job to do this. And I'm like, what the fuck, you know? But I was like, you know what? No. Whenever that thought came into my mind, I'm not going to make it. I literally slapped it out of my head. No, not literally. I didn't slap myself. I'd be calling myself crazy then, but I didn't slap myself. I would lay in bed. And what I would do is I would imagine, I would see myself, like my eyes were closed, and I would see me doing all of the things that I eventually did, by the way, you know, buying that Jeep for my wife and putting that red fucking thingy on top and flowers and having a wallet full of money. My wallet had never less than 4,000 euros in it. I'm not joking. I could barely, it was just 50s, 50, 50, 50. And that's a lot of 50s. I had to buy a big wallet. I had that little man purse wallet. People were making fun of me. But when I opened my wallet, everybody shut up. But and that's you know, that's not on the showing off side. It's just on explaining to you guys that you can go from 0 to 100 if you're just focused, if you work hard and have a definite goal. And my definite goal was never a money figure. Well, it was. I was saying million, million, million. But you know, you can't get the million if you don't get the 100K. You can't get the 100K if you don't get the 10K. You can't get the 10K if you don't get the 1K. It's a process. That's why I say process profit, process profit. And your process is using the system, being 100% concentrated, focused, and doing your task at hand. I'll try to remind you guys of this because I need the reminding too sometimes. Sometimes we come and we piss average every day. I'm sorry if there's any ladies here or if I'm on loudspeaker and people can hear me swearing. I apologize for that, but I'm just telling you guys right now that you want to become so good that when you go to take a piss, you piss excellence. That's how you're going to do this, you know, and it's a very simple process. I just told you, but it starts with the belief. See your life. So let me go back to me being in my bed about to break down almost every night, and everyone was there. Read books and interviews of everyone who succeeded in life. They were all there on the verge of bankruptcy, breakups, mental depression, and fuck, people have been ready to kill themselves, suicide, and they made it. Because when you're in hell, you keep going. You don't stop, because if you stop, you're fucked. So anyway, how did I generate the belief? I closed my eyes. When I was in bed, there was only one thing on my mind: seeing the very future self. I never knew about NLP then, but that's something that's called future pacing. I would go into the future and I would see myself being happy, being healthy, being wealthy, being wise, those four things. For happiness, I saw myself smiling, having a great time, traveling. Like I could see myself on islands. I could see myself driving the car. I could see myself wearing the watch. I could see my family being happy, you know? I just seen myself Like I could visualize my face and the surroundings, and it was just radiating happiness. Number two, for wealth, I saw myself being that trader, not just having the money. The money is a side effect. The money is not the destination. The money is a process. See, that's what many people make a mistake. They say, I want this much money. They don't understand that to get that much money, you need to continuously be getting money. So money is a process. It's not the outcome. It's not the end result. It's a process. It's a side effect. And then I saw myself, I'm like, that's it. It's gonna come. Just be focused, continue. And I saw myself, when you see yourself being focused and, I saw myself executing my plan and the results are coming in. I saw myself losing money and being in control and not moving my stop loss or closing it or making the amateur mistakes. That's wealth. That's how I saw it. For wisdom, I saw myself reading books, literally visualizing myself reading books. And for health, I saw myself riding bikes, running, working out, having a nice physique that I'm proud of, feel good. And I did that repetitively. My results didn't come from one day. And they still don't come from one day. They come from all of the days that happened behind and all of the hopes I have for the future. But most importantly, it all comes down to what I do today. Now, I'm not talking about myself, just so you understand. I'm trying to talk directly to your hearts and to your subconscious minds to understand that you need to do what I did. I'm not telling you to go through what I did. The whole point of the community is so nobody goes through that. What I'm saying is the way I did this was because of this. All you guys need to do is replicate this and tweak it and change it and make it your own. Okay, that's it. Now let's go into the upcoming week. Let's go into the upcoming week, and I'm going to go over some charts, and I'll show you a little bit more about volume, and we can talk about that together. Now, the upcoming week, one of the most important charts we need to be focused on is GBP. Why? We have the Scottish Scottish elections. That's happening on Thursday. I'll show you here. I don't think they have it here, but we do have the Bank of England meeting on a Thursday. They don't have it written down. So look at this, GBP right there. Okay, that's Thursday. And then you have the votes from, you have the votes in England and in Scotland, elections. Depending on how the elections specifically in Scotland go, which keep in mind, people are getting very depressed right now, not maybe because of the way the United Kingdom is, but because of the lockdowns overall. Tensions are rising all over the world. People are generally unhappy. Hence, that vote could come out bad. And if it does, we could have a second independence vote from or referendum in Scotland, and that's going to cause madness for the GBP. The beautiful thing is that I'm not the only one, and nor are you the only ones who know about this. Meaning, even though we got a bank holiday in the UK on Monday, the GBP could be moving. Where it starts moving, I don't know, but using this beautiful tool that we're going to use right now, fixed range volume, that's going to help us to determine where price could go. Guys, let's use the basics of this. That's a low, that's a high. 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 This trend is up. The starting point of this trend is here. This is last year, if you guys remember, when the COVID lockdowns happened. That's them, and that's the USD gaining strength. So if we are to understand this move, this is where this happens. So we're going to go on the daily chart because it's just way too far. And then we're going to go over fixed range volume right now. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. We want to take the first indication of an up move. The first indication of an up move is this candle over here. Why? Because that's where the higher low was established on the shorter time frames. If we do this, we see that the structure of volume for GBP USD is up. Yes, it is. And there is a lot of buyers in this area, or sorry, there were a lot of buyers in this area. Specifically down here, this box, and you guys can see already why this box is important. Because if I go take this and drag it back, you guys are going to see what you see. A very strong rejection level, And if I continue dragging this back like this, we're going to see more and more rejections, telling us that that specific level right there, 31,400, is vital. What we see here is that there is a highlight of volume. And actually in recent time, if you guys use the numbers of this, you will see that there is more sellers than buyers by actually 25%. That's a big number, okay? Here in this box, since the start of this bull trend, there is 25% more sellers here than there is buyers. If we look at something else that's very valuable that I'm going to teach you a little bit more of, the ATR of 5. Look at this. All of these major spikes in volume, this is COVID here, all of these major spikes in the average price indicate continuations or high volumes and trends, like this one here. This was a very big one over here. See this? That's right there. And that's where our continuation continued. The price never dropped below that level. Look. That's a spike. And that became now a major buying zone. Look, we'll talk about this later more in the course. There's a spike. That became a massive, massive support where we actually witnessed a major breakout and a very aggressive bullish trend. Now, the beautiful thing about this is that there are a lot of sellers, or recently there have been a lot of sellers up here. That's a major difference in volume. You guys can also see now here, based on the current volume, that over here you actually have more sellers, 7.4 to 6.3, okay? It's also a big one. So I would expect, based on what's happening with the referendums in the UK and so forth, that we could see a pretty downward move on the GBP. And I've seen that Euro GBP is already indicating strong potential upside. So we're going to do this together. Just give me a sec. Drag this here. Set this bad boy up there. Remove this. Now we can drop down to our 4-hour chart. And look at this, guys. Look. See? Tap down. We already know this is an important level. We can see just how important it is. But this time, price couldn't go above it. Tapped it and went down. We take the volume here with our first indication of rejections, this red one, drag it here, and let's drag it a little bit back here before it actually came up. We see that the upside of volume is here. If you guys remember, we were shorting GBP USD, right, on Friday. And these are the reasons. Upside of volume is up here, telling us that price could be rejected towards the downside because we have no volume up here so far, right? So we had this before price even came there. Now, when we drag it here, we see that volume is remaining there, but it's getting very tight, okay? Based on the current price, based on the current price movement from this peak over here, where we actually had a major sell-off, remember that, we had a major sell-off, and if we do this, please check this, that's the peak, and then we have upticks in, specifically here, upticks in ATR. That lines up with this rejection here. This lines up with that, telling us that there has been a pretty decent rejection. The ATR never really came up there again, but every time price came, it rejected that level. Rejected, and then again, rejected. Very simple. You saw me, guys, as well that let's not go over that right now, but there is strong indications that we could see momentum go down, but this doesn't mean that we're going to open and crash. This means that we could push back up, and the way we're going to find this is pretty simple. We know that there is volume there. The only problem is we have a very big uptrend. So we don't know exactly where to grab this volume right now, right? Well, we're going to actually take it from over here, from the beginning of this continuation. That's a top, and that's a continuation. What I'm going to do is zoom into this. grab this, get this green candle where the move begun, drag it to the right, and now I'm going to get the volume for this area. And now by doing this, we have the top side. Look at this. Volume is up here. It's actually dropping now, by the way, before it was up there. And with volume dropping over here, that indicates to me that there could be, what's it called? Further pressure down. Now, by looking at this, we know that the bottom of volume is over here. But now we have a lower level, this one here, which we're going to change to purple. That could be, based on what we see today, right now, before the open, that could be that zone where price goes down. Now look at this. This is called concentrated attention. I didn't prepare for this, but look. We already see this level actually working. Rejections, rejections, rejection. So I would say, I would go as far as to say that price could trend right back up here. The good thing is we're making high, low, by the way, close, lower, low. So we could be changing towards the downside. Yes, the overall move is towards the up, and all of this can change if we make a major breakout out of this. For now, this is what I see, and this is what I'm prepared to trade until the morning when I sit down and do my analysis properly. This is how you draw volume. So we're going to go to gold now, and I'll show you how we're going to draw volume on gold. And this is very simple. You're taking the current place of price action. That's all you need to do. Gold has created a double bottom over here. We're taking the volume from the continuation. This green candle, drag it here. Volume is pretty bullish, remains towards the upside. Over here, we have a clear-cut support. Remember, even though this is highlighted, this is a very small check in volume. Okay? Price does one of two things there. In this area, one of two things occurs. Spikes, such as this, or changes in trend, such as this. Breakouts, basically. Okay? Here we had likely both of them. But the reason I'm thinking gold is long is because volume, no matter, even though all of this happened on Friday, it went up and then it went down and then it went up and then it went down, volume is highlighted to the upside, telling me that I should now look for the next swing, and that's this here. This red candle is my next swing. Drag this, grab it here, and now I have indications that we could come all the way up here. Keeping in mind that even though this is highlighted, there is a lot of volume here. Guess what? If I remove this, you guys can clearly see that this is an important range and that we could pop right back into this range. But as an overall, this is the target we're looking for. We know that we're still bullish. How do we know we're bullish, guys? Let's talk about the basics of trading. Price action. Let's look at this. Low, high, low. Yeah, high or low, right? High, and then these lows here. We can go within, but the cycle is this. Bullish trend, correction, bullish trend, correction. These lows here, this here, hasn't broken this. Hence, this is our support. And we know this as well because of volume. And it's there. And it's telling us that gold has a significant chance of upside. Now, here's the catch. The market could stop us out, go down, kick us out, and then come back in. If that happens, you go in and you go in big. Remember, I told you this before. If you do get stopped out on a valid trade idea, the only thing that means is the trade didn't fail. There might be still an opportunity to long. Wait for the rejection. Set yourself a pending order right above volume, right above the fibs, or right above volume, or right above a rejection level. Set it and move on. Let's go over something else. Let's go over USDTRY. I'm still long on this. So look at this. Why am I long? There's the same analysis. You guys know the fibs. So here we have a general play. We have a top, we have a bottom, we have 38.2 and 30. I use this. If you guys look at this, volume is still bullish. Even though up here, look at this, here, it's still bullish. There's actually more buyers than sellers up here, based on the current indications. 31.64, 30, oh, sorry, there's more sellers. There's more sellers, 36.1. That's why price rejected this and rejected this, more sellers. But there is much more buyers towards the downside, and we can already see how much volume there is in this area. A lot of volume is in this area, and I'm just thinking that there could be a significant move. And actually, this is already a major indication of a play. Look at the ATR. Look at these spikes. This candle here. Ever since those spikes, we never really went below this area. We've actually held the volume lines. Look at the volume lines. Bottom. And this is the major volume. This is where pretty much all of the volume is right here. And look at this. Support, support, resistance, support. We've broken out of this. Here we had a fake out, and now we're trying to make another breakout. We're using volume. Now you can also use the shortcoming of volume as well. So you have those areas, and you can of course take this top over here and do this, and then check. Now what does this show us? The short side of volume tells us that pretty much, even though there's 10 candles here, just 2 of them are highlighted. 75% of the volume of this play here is right there. 75% of the volume out of 10 candles is stuck in 2. The POC is right here. We have a bullish trend. We have fibs. We have end of volume, right? We have a rejection candle right there, which kind of, by the way, if I just do this and drag it there, look where it lines up. Look, I'll take it like this. Take the top of that candle. And drag it to the right. Now keep this in mind. When price, you already can see how important this level is. Look. There. Now here you already have a rejection. Keep this in mind. Price tried to break out, couldn't, came down. We went above this. We're now using it as a rejection, and we're moving up. This is called concentrated attention. And it's very simple to do. It's not, it will take time, but with time, you're just going to improve and get better and better and better. And that confidence and belief is going to continue growing. But you have the whole system here. You understand? You've got the whole system in play. You've got every little bit of the system telling us that there is vital indications. Like here is where I think the trend corrects. Yeah, this is where the trend corrects. Volume, since the start of the trend, completely bullish. Rejection candles, right? Volume support. Fibs. So now I have options. I have pivots. Okay. R2 lines up with 1, 2, 3, 6. 161 is close to R3. That's okay. Cool. Got that. But if I really want to take advantage of this and try and check volume, I can zoom out even more and see where price has been going. But look at this. Look at USD/TRY since 2009. Look where it's going. You see this? A lot of people don't understand this, but when you zoom out, you clearly see that the TRY has been in trouble for a while. You guys do realize that it hasn't made a lower low since it's actually started. Low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. And I can just continue doing that. That's more than 10 years of just higher lows. See? Doesn't take a genius to come up that, hey, this is clearly going up. And the only thing that's happening is that the volume's actually increasing, increasing, increasing. Capiche? You guys understand how to draw volume? I'm sure you do. Volume is drawn from the plays, the startings of the plays. Let's go to GBP CAD. First pair I saw here, all the volume. How would you draw volume here? Well, it's pretty simple. You would get this start and this start, because this is the low of the current play. and this is the high of the current play. Okay, that's where volume's starting from. Now this is a bit far, so you could also take this as a third point. So take 3 moves. Over here, price started coming up from this breakout. Well, actually, we'll take the previous candle as well because it's a push up. There. So this is the volume for this current play, and then we're going to take the upside over here. The first red candle, that's when the bearish trend comes. Why are we doing this? We're doing this because this is helping us to understand who is in control of the market. That's why I'm actually coming from the candle right, because that's where the buyers failed. The candle before that was where the buyers were in control still, and the next candle is where they failed. They gave up here. Buyers, this is where they gave up. Okay? How do you know that they gave up? 23 vs 79. That's a big difference. And that's when they started controlling this bearish market. And you guys can see this already. Let's go over the basics and for you to understand just how they started controlling it. Let me remove this. Rejection candle, rejection candles, rejection. Rejection candle. Look how they're going to line up with each other. Rejection candles. So, rejection, 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 rejection. And then you do the same thing here. There's the rejection candles. There's some more over here, right? Continue down. There's rejection candles here. They don't really line up with the ones up, but they're there. The next one here lines up with this here. Zones. Price tried to go up here. Of course, this was news, by the way. Check it. Definitely news. And the news got killed. Where? Right at the previous rejection zone. See? And then price continues to tumble. So now we have volume. Let's talk about volume for a sec. So we're out of volume. Let me just grab this candle. Here we're out of volume. You guys know this, and I highly encourage you to continue to understand this, that what? When we're out of volume, trends occur, but also corrections occur. So what is important to understand here? That if you just look at this red dotted line, look here, look how important this level is. I'll show you already. You can see this here, 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 here. See that? Here, 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 here. Close here. Here, fake out, fake out. Look. I didn't plan this. I'm just showing you very simply. GBP. What did GBP USD tell us? GBP USD told us that GBP could go down. Here, we're getting indications that we're at a crazy important level, meaning that if this holds, it could go up. We know we're in a bearish trend. The POCs of both of these plays, by the way, look where? That's where most of the volume occurs, right there. Telling us that if this breaks, strong down move. If it doesn't, most likely price could go up. Hence, it agrees to the idea that what we saw on GBP, telling us that it's going to most likely go up and then possibly drop. This makes sense because I would be buying GBP CAD to this area up here, to the volume area right there. Now, the final cookie of this play comes over here. Red candle, drag. There's volume. Perfect. Now I'm confident about targeting this level. What do I need to do? I need to come here, open this, or just open up my tick charts. Pretty simple. Where's GBP CAD? Okay. And now I can look at the 10-minute. What's up here? I don't need volume anymore. I'm looking at this. I think you guys already see it, right? We know we're at the support, right? Possible head and shoulders, right? Let's go down to the 5. Possible head and shoulders, fibs, and good indications of potential upside. doesn't take a genius to do this. It's very simple, but it's going to take time for everyone to understand it. It's the levels, you know, so you're drawing all of this, and this is pretty simple, and then you're using the basics of the system. You're drawing your fibs, you're using the system, but you're also preparing. And this is what I mean, relentless hard work with attention. Guys, I see that there's 2 questions from Ivan. If anybody else has questions, ask me now, because it's 9 p.m. here. I want to spend a bit more time with my family before before the markets open. Any questions? Unmute yourself. I'll answer your question now, Ivan. I'll read them.
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. I've seen those numbers, Dennis.
Yeah, they're not important for you guys now. You just show values. Look.
Okay.
Not important for you guys.
The inputs are still the same?
Yes, yes. If that would change, I will tell you. They're exactly the same.
Dennis, what are the settings for your ATR?
ATR, the blue one is 5. Indicator time frame 30 minutes, length 5, EMA. All of them remain the same. Length 5, EMA, just the time frame changes. Blue, 30 minutes. Red, 1 hour. Orange, 2 hours.
If we have a free account, we just switch them around by time, right?
Just stick to 1 hour and 2 hours. Don't go to
1 hour and 2 hours, okay.
Yeah.
Great, Dennis, thanks.
I'm just reading Ivan's question. Well, yeah, on your first part where you say about price consolidates, yes, you need to grab the volume of the current play. In this case, the current play remains bearish until this changes. So if GBP CAD starts going up here like this, we are also going to take this volume over here and understand the structure. But based on everything we see, let's say on GBP CAD right now, the fact that we are at a clear-cut support, the fact that we are out of volume, and that the POCs are pretty far away, we have had a very strong bearish trend, by the way, tells me that there could be a push towards the upside. And we already see that first potential here. I'll reply to your questions on Discord. I've just copy-pasted them in a sec, and I'll reply to them there so I don't drag on the recording. Aside from that, I hope today's session has helped you. Please remember everything I spoke about before. Concentrated attention, relentless work ethic, a definite fucking goal. And that's it. Thank you guys for attending this session, and can't wait to have a great week with you guys tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Dennis.
Have a good night.
See you tomorrow morning.
See you. Bye.
Bye.